Hello everyone! Today I want to tell you about a rather unusual little creature. Don't be surprised, but it has the body of a beaver, the spurs of a rooster, the fur of an echidna, and a duck's beak. And what's more, this creature is poisonous. You're watching Animal Time, and today we're going to take a look at the platypus. As is now tradition, before we begin, I'd like to ask you to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. That would be the best reward for me. Make yourselves comfortable. Here we go. Meet the platypus, the duck mouse, the bird beast, and even the water mole. There's no end to the names people give this poor animal. At first, people even thought it was someone's prank. Of course, just imagine the surprise at receiving the skin of some sort of water rat with a beaver's tail sewn on and a huge duck's beak. But later on, the taxidermist's theory that it was a prank fell apart, as live specimens began to be brought to the old world, and the duck's beak was far from the strangest feature. Having discovered the platypus at the end of the 18th century, scientists were still unable to decide for a full 25 years where exactly to classify it. As a mammal, a semi-mammal, or perhaps even a bird. It seems to have a beak, so it must be a bird. It seems to have fur, so it must be an animal. It doesn't seem to have mammary glands, so it's not a mammal. A single opening, a cloaca like that of birds or reptiles. All in all, quite a conundrum. It was only when the German biologist Meckel discovered hidden mammary glands in a female platypus that it became clear where this creature belonged. Admittedly, it later transpired that platypuses lay eggs, but this did not affect their classification. As a result, the platypus, and incidentally its close relative the echidna, remain the only representatives of the egg-laying mammals in the subclass Prototheria. This extraordinary creature lives somewhere far, far away in the rivers and lakes of Australia. After all, this continent is like an isolated laboratory where its original inhabitants have lived for millions of years, and the platypus has remained virtually unchanged since the time of the dinosaurs. Everything about this animal is unusual. Well, apart from the fact that it grows to between 12 and 16 inches and weighs up to 4.5 pounds. Let's start with the bill. Firstly, it isn't hard at all, but soft, as it's nothing more than skin stretched over a bony framework, but it is highly functional. These small pits on the surface of the beak are receptors that detect any vibrations in the water. So the primitive platypus has mastered echolocation and uses it to find food. It cannot catch anything any other way, as it tightly closes its eyes and ears whilst swimming, regarding them as unnecessary. The animal's feet are webbed, which makes sense, as the platypus is an excellent swimmer. But it also has claws on them, which allow it to dig long, deep burrows. The animal's fur is very beautiful, thick, and warm. It has enabled the platypus to settle literally all across eastern Australia, including even very cold lakes. What's more, the fur even covers the animal's plump tail, in which the platypus stores fat for a rainy day. It has absolutely no hang-ups about this. You could also say that it emerges from the water completely dry. The thing is, the animal makes a very narrow entrance to its burrow, and as it crawls in, its fur is, as it were, wrung out. So it ends up entering its home dry and clean. I wonder how it came up with that idea. To stand out even more from the gray mass of similar animals, the platypus even swims using its front flippers rather than its hind legs. And on land, it has decided to walk like a reptile, spreading its legs out to the sides of its body. It seems it's also inherited its body temperature from reptiles, just 32 degrees, so you certainly couldn't call it warm. And the echidnas have also given our friend venom. Rather unusual for a mammal, isn't it? These sharp spines on the male's hind legs pose a danger. They're connected to a gland that produces a mixture of toxins, and the platypus uses this weapon primarily during the mating season. A prick from such a spine won't kill a human, of course, but it could certainly kill something smaller, such as a dingo. But it won't be much fun for humans either. Swelling of the limb and pain lasting several days are guaranteed. so you should be careful when picking up these cute creatures, especially as these spines can grow up to 1.5 centimeters long. Even at a genetic level, this little fellow might surprise you. For example, it doesn't have 2 sex chromosomes, but a full 10. XXXX, XXXXXX in males, and XY, 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 XY in females. It's unclear how this whole mix fits into a single animal, but apparently it works quite well. As the platypus is thriving and lives in all the suitable lakes across Australia. It's even one of the country's national symbols, and is depicted on a coin. But in reality, it is a hard worker that spends 10 hours a day in the water and eats up to half its own body weight. It feeds on all sorts of worms, crustaceans, tadpoles, and prawns. In short, anything weaker, less intelligent, or smaller than itself. As it does so, it combs the lake bed, poking at it with its versatile beak and devouring its prey. As for its hearty appetite, this is because when the platypus was created, they forgot to give it a stomach, and its esophagus leads straight into its intestines. Therefore, despite the abundance of food, most of it just goes straight through. On top of that, in some places, the hard-working platypuses are exploited by cheeky neighbors. This is the cormorant, and he loves to carry out raider-style takeovers of lakes alongside the platypuses living there. Now this platypus is working for him. All the cormorant has to do is dive alongside the platypus and eat the food it has found, as all the hard work has already been done for him. And if the platypus rests on the surface for too long, the cormorant can peck at it to keep it on its toes. The cormorants have divided a network of lakes amongst themselves, with each lake having several platypuses and one cormorant. But food is one thing. The continuation of the species must also be considered. For example, this is how courtship takes place. The platypus grabs his chosen mate by the tail, and they begin to twirl in their dance. Even if the female isn't particularly keen on dancing, he can simply grab her by the tail and drag her into the water. Particularly sought-after females often end up with bald patches on their tails from such tail-grabbing dances. And after mating, strange as it may sound, the female needs to build a nest. To do this, she uses that same flat tail to carry lots of leaves, twigs, and small branches into the burrow, from which she builds a nest. The female then lays 1, 2, or even 3 eggs, from which little platypuses will eventually hatch. Like reptiles, they have a special egg tooth, which they use to break the eggshell. After that, the tooth falls out, and they hatch looking just like this, tiny little creatures. The babies need milk, but their mother has no teats. Her mammary glands are internal, so she can only sweat out milk, and the babies have to lick it off special milk patches on her body. But that doesn't stop them from eating their fill. And after 3 to 4 months, the platypuses reach adulthood and set off on their own in search of worms. That's just how interesting and unusual our hero turned out to be today. Did you enjoy the video? Don't forget to rate it. Let us know in the comments who else you'd like to find out about. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and be sure to click the bell icon. And I'll say goodbye for now. Not for long. Bye for now.